Are you having a hard day or a tough day? Me too, babes. I feel like the world around us is so heavy right now, and each and every day just feels really difficult. Sometimes it feels hard to even just move through your everyday life. Well, I'm here to tell you, you're not alone. You might be thinking, well, why are you making this video? Well, today was just a really tough day for me, and I was thinking, well, I know the world is so heavy right now, and someone needs to hear that they're not alone. I think we can get really caught up in everyday life, trying to put a mask on, trying to look like you're okay, but it's really okay not to be okay. There are resources out there to help you with your mental health. There are therapists that can help you if you need to navigate that way. But there are some free resources, like, for example, I really like to journal. I actually opened up my laptop and I went on Notion and I journaled there, but you could even do that on Word, on Google Drive, on Google Docs. You can do that. And just honestly, even a notebook is fine. There are some apps out there also on your phone, the Notes app. There are so many different platforms that you can journal on, and there are ways that you can cope with whatever you're going through, whether that's going and exercising or just keeping to yourself and watching a movie. Although I feel like there is a nuance to it where too much of the being alone and watching a movie can be not helpful to some people. But if you're introverted like me, that's definitely a way to cope. Another way to cope is to have a relationship with Jesus and pray. And one thing I'm learning to do in my adulthood, my mom always taught me this, is to go to Jesus first and to pray whenever I have a problem, whenever I'm having a bad day. So I would encourage you, if you're a Christian, even if you're not, to maybe try implementing that and see if that helps you. Another thing that helped me was listening to, really, especially when I was really emotional today, was to listen to music that was specifically Christian music. That has and will always help me. Even in my darkest moments, it always helps me. Another way you could do it is to listen to scripture instead. There's Bible apps out there. YouVersion is the one I use, and there are many, 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 many different translations of the Bible depending on your language or which translation you like, whether ESV or NIV if you're an English speaker. And that can also help you. I think it's very important to turn our hearts towards Him, specifically in today's day and age. I think ever since this year started, a lot of things have happened. Sometimes it can be hard when you read the news to be like, oh wow, this is what's happening, but these are real people, these are real lives that are impacted by these things. And sometimes what helps me is trying to get out of my own head when I'm having a difficult day, because most of the time I'm in my head, and that's why I'm having a difficult day. I'm like, oh no, I'm not this, I'm not that. Like, basically, the enemy lying to me, saying I'm not good enough, but I am good. I am mentally fine and everything. But the enemy saying that I'm not this, I'm not that. But I think it's very important to realize that there are people out there who are struggling worse than you are. I know that can sound insensitive, but that is the reality. The reality of life is there's someone always doing better than you, and there's always someone doing worse than you. There is someone potentially looking up to you right now, wishing that they were in your place, and vice versa. You're probably looking at someone being like, I want to be where they are. But each and every day is just a choice. You have to walk in it. Even if it's difficult, you have to get up. You have to do the action to get where you are. Like, if you're sick in bed, like, I'm so sorry. Like, that's really, you can't really do much there. There could be some ways you could make money, and you can document your journey. I'm sure that it would help people to understand what you're going through, and you could potentially get donations that way to help fund your living expenses and stuff. But there's just like so much going on in the world that sometimes we just need to get out of our own heads. I feel like a lot of us struggle with mental health, and it's very real and it's very legitimate. But sometimes the hard thing we need to do is just move forward and take an actionable step today to improve our lives tomorrow. That's what I choose to do. I think that's what you should try to do and emulate and try to do. We're not perfect. Sometimes life feels like one giant step forward, 2 steps back. But I'm sure I'll look back in 5 years and not really think about the moment that I'm going through. Yes, it's difficult. Relationships are difficult. Life can be difficult, but there's difficulty around us everywhere. And we have the hope that Jesus has already won, that everything in this world will be fixed one day. And one day we will go to heaven and live in eternity with him. And that's the hope I hold on to every day. So even if my day is difficult, I know he has already won. And that is enough for me. And I hope that's enough for you. I hope you do one thing today to make tomorrow better for you.